Oh, the official Wednesday Night War has kicked off. That's right. Kenny Omega taking shots at WWE NXT. We're going to talk about it all in today's video.
You have arrived at your destination.
Welcome back to Destination Pro Wrestling. It's your boy Ango. Follow me on Twitter at Tango with Ango. So close to 3,000 followers. Guys, we are talking about the shots that Kenny Omega took at NXT because I thought this was really crazy. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Kenny Omega says AEW will feature real stars and not developmental talent. Not the kind of guys that would essentially be in the dark match for a card that features Kenny Omega. And this was some very bold stuff from Kenny Omega. I'm going to put the link in the description. It's an interview with Sportskeeda. Yeah, I know, Sportskeeda. But it's an interview with Sportskeeda. He talks all about it. And a lot of people were actually pissed off at this. I was really, really shocked how many people were angered by the fact that Kenny Omega took shots at NXT. First of all, we got to talk about the logic behind this because I think a lot of times people are watching these videos and they think I'm one-sided. Sometimes I am the biggest AEW fanboy and the next day I am extremely against AEW. It sounds really funny, but we got to talk about the logic. So whether or not you like AEW, this is actually a really smart move. Essentially, here's the deal. Kenny Omega is getting people to talk about AEW versus NXT, which is exactly what they want you to do. Tony Khan and the AEW family want you to talk about it. It's free marketing. Whether or not these guys actually have issues with NXT, I don't think so, right? They're all friends. It's obvious, you know, when they first came out and they talked about this new promotion, it was all about having an additional place to work where everybody could be successful. Now, as time gets closer to October, they're taking shots. They're definitely getting in the ribs. And it sucks because I think a lot of people are blinded by this and not realizing a lot of this is kayfabe. Kenny Omega is friends with a lot of the guys in the NXT locker room. And I think a lot of these guys between both companies are friends with each other, have dated one another. It's really insane to think about this as an actual war. In terms of being a competition between two companies, it is. And definitely there is a war that exists between the two. But these guys aren't trying to put others out of business. Maybe Vince McMahon is, but the guys on each roster, you know, the talent there between both companies, they're trying to put on some amazing shows. And that's very clear. And this is what it is. It's free publicity. How many people have talked about AEW in the last 2 weeks? How many people are talking about AEW now that NXT has officially debuted on USA Network? Which, by the way, we are going to talk about that because there is some news about the very first episode debut. So make sure you guys stick around until the end of the video. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell because you guys don't want to miss out on content, right? Lots of things happening. But yeah, Kenny Omega did what any other person would do. He is getting people to talk. Now, why people were upset about this, I don't know. And I had a little bit of fun on Twitter as well. But it's very clear, guys. Kenny Omega is kayfabing it up. You know, it's storyline. It's fun. It's a script. It's a plan to get people to generate conversation, which look at how much money AEW has to pay for this. It's also funny that this comes out the same day where WWE had some news leak out that WWE would be filming backstage segments prior to them actually airing on TV, and this is a way to avoid spoilers or whatever it may be, avoid mess ups. Like, WWE is really taking this stuff serious against AEW, and I understand why. But NXT was a clear indication that this is going to be a fun, competitive time for pro wrestling. Now, a lot of you guys want to know my personal opinion, because I keep hearing from you guys, oh, you're just a fan of AEW, or you're just a WWE fanboy. It's like, the comments are hit or miss, but realistically, guys, I want both companies to thrive and succeed. And actually, that's why I hate the fact that this all happened on Wednesday. I hate the fact that AEW turned to Wednesday nights. NXT is not counter-programming AEW. I don't care what anybody says. You can't convince me otherwise. They've been on NXT on the WWE network for, 5-6 years now on Wednesdays. Like, that's always been the NXT thing. My issue is that Tuesday seems to be a wide open night for pro wrestling, which I would have been totally cool with Tuesday. But most importantly, I'm a fan of all kinds of wrestling companies, which is why it bothers me that the two that I really want to watch are going to be literally at the same time on the same day. The fans are making this a war. This is not by any means an actual war, because I think what happens, and we kind of alluded to this in the previous video, if you guys missed it, I'll put that link in the description, but we talked about this. AEW versus NXT. Guys, it's all about It's all about ratings, and it's all about successful shows, and obviously putting out good content. It's going to be really hard for AEW to win over that WWE audience. AEW is going to have to form a new audience that aren't watching WWE. It's going to be a challenge. It is. But I think if they went on a different day, they would have definitely carved out their own path. They would have been fine. I do kind of worry about them going head to head with WWE, because we all know when WWE is in, life or death situation, they will do what they have to do to succeed. And we've obviously seen them succeed. And I think that's how serious this could get. I think it makes sense, because I mentioned this in the previous video. That's probably why they took out the Tuesday or Wednesday night name from Dynamite, because it could potentially change nights one day. Either way, I'm excited for what's about to come, but we got to talk about NXT, because there is more news to this video. NXT drew over a 1.1 million viewers live for the first hour on USA Network, which is an amazing number. And if you guys don't know why this is such an amazing number, well, it wasn't the longest promotional period for WWE. That's the biggest thing. But number two, it was only for a 1 hour show. And then the WWE network crashed when everybody was trying to transfer over to the second hour. So over 1.1 million viewers live watching USA Network for NXT, which is WWE's third brand. That is exciting. That is exciting because NXT audience is very similar to the AEW audience. And I think the first few episodes for AEW is going to do very well, just as I think NXT will. But there's an anticipation level that's very high right now, where if both companies aren't consistent, whether it's WWE or AEW, if these companies are not consistent in bringing the heat, if they're not bringing on amazing shows weekly, on a weekly basis, guys, competition is going to suck for both of these companies. I don't care who you root for. So NXT has to bring it weekly. AEW has to bring it weekly, but over 1.1 million viewers. Now let's talk about this in comparison to AEW on TNT special, the Friday right before AEW All Out. Guys, when I tell you this, it's really shocking, but WWE had over 800,000 more viewers than the people who are watching AEW on TNT special. Now I get it, right? It's a special. It's not an actual live show. People might not be watching it. I understand. Obviously, I get that. 300,000 viewers. Definitely impressive for AEW's first ever TV thing. But most importantly, WWE has such a big audience already that it was easy, or it should be easier, to convince most of their audience to watch NXT, which tells you how strong the NXT has been, the brand has been on the WWE network. AEW's challenge is convincing millions and millions of people, some who watch WWE and people who left WWE, to join AEW. And it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. I think it's very clear that this wrestling war is something that two billionaires want everybody to think it is, and it is to a certain extent. And that's why Kenny Omega took these shots. He got people to talk. He generated a lot of buzz. They don't have to pay for marketing. Look at the social media interaction. And then you have a response from Dominic Dijakovic, right? Donovan Dijak. You guys remember him. Yeah, he responded, referenced his amazing match at PWG with Keith Lee. I can't believe it either, guys, but yeah, it's fun. And I think we're going to see a lot of this. Do I like it? No, because I'd prefer to see everybody act civil and act cool, because that's really what it is. But they're going to get people talking. They're going to get people talking a lot. They're going to get people to choose sides. And it's very clear WWE already has an audience. AEW is building their audience. WWE's at an advantage, but it's going to be exciting to see how that happens. And whether or not AEW ever has to move from Wednesday nights to Tuesday or Thursday or Friday, more power to them. I honestly think they will achieve more viewers if they weren't going head to head with WWE. I think they'll do a lot better if they were on Tuesdays. But I think Tuesdays would be a great day for wrestling, because there's literally nothing to watch unless NBA season. And even that, at that point, I kind of follow both. But, Friday Impacts will be on Friday. Impact will be on Friday for Access TV. And then obviously you guys know what I'm talking about. So Monday Night Raw, Tuesday AEW, Wednesday NXT, Thursday, I don't even know at this point, can't think. Friday, obviously Impact. A lot of things could change in the pro wrestling world, guys. This is the most competitive I've seen it since WCW versus WWE. So It's gonna be really exciting. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Don't forget to ring that bell when you guys click subscribe. You gotta click subscribe. If I feel like I'm a little bit off my game today, it's just because I've been so excited about pro wrestling. I've been watching a lot of it, and I barely sleep anymore because of it. So anyways, I'm gonna go hit the gym, get a nice workout in, and who knows, I might be live on Twitch sometime soon. So if you guys don't know, I'll do some cool stuff. Links in the description. I'll see you guys next time. See ya.